What is going on YouTube? Jay here from MJTech. Today coming with something a little bit different, just to change the routine a little bit. And for those of you who don't know me, I enjoy buying bikes sometimes. I get them at a very good deal, like I did with this Honda Grom or Grom, whatever you guys call it. And I got this for $800. This is a replica of that particular bike that I just mentioned. They are known to be called Venom X20 or the Boom Vader 125. And as you guys can tell, I have taken here the right fairing out. That's because the previous owner, after only driving it for about 10 miles, by the way, we have here 35.6 miles on it. After driving it for about 10 miles, they decided to do the carb upgrade, but then something happened where the bike started bogging a lot. They didn't mention it much when I first bought it, but I'm assuming that's why they sold it so cheap, because they couldn't figure out the problem. So this is the carb that they installed. This is the Mikuni VM22 replica, and these are okay carbs. Sometimes you get a good carb, sometimes you get a bad carb. If you want to avoid that issue, then you had to go directly to an original Mikuni VM22, and most likely you won't have problems. Now again, the issue with this bike is that it bogs. Especially when you give it throttle suddenly like this, it bogs quite dramatically, and sometimes when you are riding out there, it stalls. So it has done it to me a couple of times, and honestly I couldn't figure out the problem. I tried the jets, I tried cleaning out the carb, I even replaced some of the pilot jets as well. I did the main and the pilot. Right now I have a 92 main jet and a 33 pilot jet in here, and the needle, it's elevated, so you have 5 slots. I have it on the second one from the bottom up, and again that's for the slide, and it is still bogging. So then I did a little bit more research, or I tried to do, and I couldn't find anything, and I just suspected that the filter was clogged. But many people wouldn't suspect this because this is a brand new bike with only 35 miles, and that's because these Chinese made bikes, sometimes they come with a dirty gas tank. Yes, they have metal shavings inside. As a matter of fact, there's a YouTuber, you guys can look it up, with one of these same bikes. When he opened it right out of the box, he inspected the gas tank inside and he found metal shavings as well. Luckily he found it on time before adding gas, so he vacuumed the gas tank and everything was good to go. But I'm assuming this bike also came with a dirty gas tank, but they didn't spot it. So as a result, I got, first of all, I drained all the old gas that was inside of the gas tank, and you can do that by simply unbolting this screw that is located right underneath the bowl here. Okay, once you loosen this up, you're gonna have this hose that comes down from the carb, and all your fuel is gonna be drained. And then this fuel filter was installed like this, and it came here from the line of the gas tank all the way here to the line that goes to the carb. Now this filter, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's super dirty. And this is super unusual for a bike that is, again, brand new. So I had to replace this, and hopefully that'll fix the issue. But I already blew from one side, which is this side, and it's super hard. It is almost like blowing a balloon. It is super hard, so there's definitely restriction inside, and that's all the dirt that came from the gas tank. That's why this bike is bogging, and that's why it keeps stalling after riding it for a few miles, because of course once the flow goes empty, it is hard to get more gas, because this is preventing the flow to go nice and smooth. So now to remove the fairing, I haven't seen any videos out there, but I did remove the fairing so that I had access to this in case you had to maintain your bike. Well, first of all, you had to remove your seat. You do so by inserting the key right here. Once you turn the key, you're gonna feel a popping sound coming here from the back side. So you just simply remove the seat, and then your bike is gonna look like this. Okay, so if we look here, there are a couple screws that you need to remove. The first one is not so obvious. You have to remove that screw, which is located on the inner side of the back smaller fairing. Also remove two screws that are holding this plastic in place. There's one here and one here. You have to remove that as well. Now this screw obviously is going to be coming from this side. Okay, I'm just explaining as if this was the right side. Then you have a 10mm bolt that needs to be removed as well. You're going to have one here that goes on the gas tank, okay, which is holding the fairing in place. You have to remove that one bolt. You have another 10mm somewhere down here. Looking at it from the other side, let me show you what it looks like. So you have to remove that 10mm bolt right there. And once you remove these two bolts that I already mentioned, and the one from the inner side here, okay, the inner side here, but from the opposite side, this smaller fairing comes out. Let me show you what it looks like. I have it right here. Okay, so it does come out once you remove that screw that I already mentioned, which is the 10mm bolt. It goes right there, and then you remove the inner bolt, which is right there, and of course the one from the back, which is there. One part I forgot to mention is that on the opposite side of the small fender, towards the bottom here, you're gonna have one Phillips screw that needs to be removed. It's right here. Then this thing comes right off. Once you remove this, now you're gonna be prompted with this 10mm bolt on this side. So you have to remove this one, and you also have to remove this one. Once you do that, you remove this bolt, okay? And of course, for the bigger fender, on this side we are looking at the left side of the bike, but on the right and the left, you're gonna have one more screw, which is right inside of this little opening right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's also a screw right there. And on the front side, you're gonna have a couple more. So for this, I got a smaller screwdriver like that one right there, and then you're gonna remove three bolts, or three screws, excuse me. They are Phillips. You're gonna have one here, remove that one. You can see it on the opposite side, and then from the inner side here, you're gonna have two more. I'm gonna try to show you. You're gonna have one on the upper side and one here on the lower side. Okay, you had to remove these screws, and on the outer side, you're gonna have, just like on the left side, you're gonna have two more screws, but on the opposite side, you had to remove them. They get connected right here. Once you do that, the whole fairing is gonna come right off, and then after that, you simply remove your filter, and that's how you replace it. You also have access here to the CDI, and everything else is just very self-explanatory. So I decided to take both sides of the fenders out, just because there's another video here on YouTube where they explain that this little breather hose right here, sometimes it gets pinched with this plastic. So for that, you remove the other side of the fender, with the exception that there's that little latch cable. You had to just pop it out. It's really easy to do, and that's for your keyhole, so that you can take out the seat. And then you remove these two 10mm bolts. There's one here and one here, and you have to remove your gas cap, and then this whole thing comes out. And underneath, again, there's a breather hose. Make sure that it's not being pinched by the plastics, okay? And now I went ahead and replaced here the filter. Okay, this is the new one. I got it at O'Reilly's. This is the old one, and you can clearly see the differences, and I still blow through it, and it's really hard to do. So now obviously we have better fuel flow here, and it goes directly to the carb from the gas tank. So we eliminated all those emission stuff. They left that little canister in there, so I just took it off. That's for your emission stuff. And so now when I started, it's a lot better. Bogging issue eliminated. So I'm assuming that it was just the filter. That's why you guys need to check it out, even if it's a new bike. And second, make sure that your breather hole, your little breather hose, excuse me, that it's not being pinched from factory with this plastic. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and reassemble everything, go for a little drive test, and see how it does. All right, here we go. Well guys, there we have it for the quick test ride, and everything seems to be working great with the bike. No more bogging, no more issues. I'm very happy, and if there's anything I can help you with, if you guys have any questions, just leave your comments below, and when I get a chance I can answer them for you. These bikes, you know, if I have to give a recommendation, they are great bikes, but you have to be mechanically skilled in some way, or you need to be, I would say, a hands-on person that can watch a few videos like this one and do things for yourself. Otherwise you're gonna have to be going to a shop often, and if that's the case, then I can't recommend this Chinese Honda clone. But again, if you are mechanically inclined and you like to do things yourself, you like to watch videos and learn, this is a great bike to get. Once you get them all set up, they are reliable. So again, if you guys have any questions, just leave your comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next one.